You know, when you look at history, or even just the news today, you start to see this strange pattern, this harsh but universal truth that life and power seem to run on a very particular kind of logic. It's a pattern you see absolutely everywhere. One empire falls, another rises. One business fails, a competitor thrives. One career ends, and it creates the perfect opening for someone else. Well, centuries ago, one of the absolute masters of the Arabic language, the poet Al-Mutanabbi, he totally nailed this profound and, let's be honest, pretty uncomfortable idea in one devastatingly perfect line. I'll say it in Arabic first, just so you can hear the flow of it. He says, بِضَا قَضَاتِ الْأَيَّامُ مَا بَيْنَ أَهْلِهَا مَصَائِبُ قَوْمٍ عِنْدَ قَوْمٍ فَوَائِدُ. Now, what does that mean? Well, the translation reveals a really powerful and I think necessary lesson. So in this explainer, we're going to break this verse down piece by piece to really understand its stark wisdom. Let's get into it. Okay, so the whole verse is really built on the foundation he lays in the first half. He's setting the stage for a major ruling, not from a king or a court, but from fate itself. And listen, this isn't just him making some casual observation. The way he frames this, he's basically saying this is an unbreakable law of existence, a final judgment passed by time upon every single one of us. So let's look at the first key term here, al-ayyam. Literally, it just means the days. But in this kind of poetic context, oh, it is so much more than that. It's this impartial, relentless engine of reality. Think of it as fate, or time with a capital T, the force that just keeps going, without any emotion or bias. And that force does something very specific, qadat. This word comes from the root for judging or decreeing, so Al-Mutanabbi is telling us that time itself has ruled. It has passed a final judgment. This isn't a suggestion, it's a verdict. So, let's move to the second part and see what that verdict is. So with the stage set like that, the second half of the verse delivers the punchline. This is the core irony that explains the very nature of time's decree. And there it is, the unforgettable lesson. There is a direct, unbreakable link between one group's misfortune and another group's opportunity. Let's look at the crucial words here. The first word, masaibu, doesn't mean little problems. It means calamities, disasters, deep misfortunes. We're talking about significant, life-altering loss here. And the direct contrast to that is fawaidu. This means benefits, gains, advantages. It's not just about surviving, we're talking about actively profiting. And the tension between these two words is the very heart of this entire verse. This just reveals the core dynamic, doesn't it? A disaster for one person or group, something that completely shatters their world, it simultaneously creates a vacuum. Could be a gap in the market, a sudden political opening, a resource left unguarded. That void becomes an opportunity, a benefit for someone else. Loss and gain are literally two sides of the same coin. Now, you might be thinking this is just a product of its time, something from the history books. But Al-Mutanabbi's wisdom here is anything but dated. Let's look at how this ancient truth is still incredibly relevant. I mean, you have to remember, he lived in an era of constant political turmoil. The collapse of one dynasty directly made it possible for another one to rise. The defeat of one army meant spoils of war and new territory for the victor. He was watching this principle play out in real time, with life and death stakes. And the exact same logic applies right now, today. When a big company goes under, its market share is suddenly up for grabs. A political scandal forces a resignation, and bam, a rival's path to power is clear. Even on a small scale, losing your wallet is a calamity for you, but it's a sudden gain for the person who finds it. It's this constant, unsentimental exchange. At its core, the verse is suggesting a pretty stark worldview. It paints a picture of life as a kind of zero-sum game, where value isn't created or destroyed, it's just transferred from the unfortunate to the opportunistic. So, the crucial takeaway here is really a shift in perspective. According to this logic, a calamity is never just an ending. By its very nature, it's also a beginning, just for someone else. It's all part of a relentless, impartial cycle of change. And that leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. Does Al-Mutanabbi's verse mean we're all just pawns in some relentless cycle of fate? Or does it reveal that the world is simply a landscape of constant, sometimes brutal, and ever-present opportunity? Maybe the real answer is that it's both.